Greer Gaber 3433671, Fall 2020. Clip 2, canine lateral recumbency, lateral saphenous venipuncture, restraint. For this venipuncture, we will need the dog in lateral recumbency, lateral meaning relating to the side, recumbency meaning fully reclined. So we will need the dog laying on her side. The lateral saphenous vein is located on the lateral side, so on the outside of both hind limbs. It runs proximal to the hock and distal to the stifle. So it runs diagonally on the outside of both hind limbs, so you can use either one. To get the dog into lateral recumbency, first I will get her into a sit. Then, maintaining control of the head the entire time, I will grab both limbs closest to me, to my body, and gently roll her onto her side. I will maintain pressure on just below her mandible on her neck and maintain my grip on both limbs that are laterally on the ground. Maintaining this pressure, I will occlude the lateral saphenous vein for venipuncture by squeezing right above it on the stifle until it presents itself, and apply enough pressure to occlude the vein. Once the assistant is done drawing blood, I will release my pressure and now apply pressure on the venipuncture site until the dog has stopped bleeding. Once the dog has stopped bleeding, I will release my restraints while maintaining control of the dog. Clip 3, canine cephalic venipuncture, sternal restraint. For this venipuncture, we will need the dog in sternal recumbency. Sternal meaning relating to the sternum, which is located ventrally on the dog. Recumbency meaning fully reclined, so essentially we will need the dog laying on her belly. The cephalic vein runs along the top of both forelimbs, so you can use either one. To get the dog into sternal recumbency, first I will get her into a sit by applying pressure on her hind limbs and moving her body up and backwards. Next, I will gently extend her forelimbs from behind the elbow out. I will use my body to maintain pressure to keep her in sternal recumbency. Now that we have her in sternal recumbency, I will maintain control of the head by holding her away from the person drawing blood just below her mandible. And I will extend her forelimb out from behind her elbow so she can't back up. I will apply enough pressure to occlude the vein and then roll it all the way laterally, maintaining pressure. Once the assistant is done drawing blood, I will release that pressure and apply pressure on the venipuncture site until the dog has stopped bleeding. Once the dog has stopped bleeding, I will release pressure, release my restraints while maintaining control of the dog. Clip 4, feline medial saphenous venipuncture, lateral recumbency. For this venipuncture, we will need the cat in lateral recumbency. Lateral meaning relating to the side, recumbency meaning fully reclining. So essentially we will need the cat laying on his side. The medial saphenous vein is located on the inside of either hind limb, so you can use either one. To get the cat into lateral recumbency, I will grasp the head or scruff the cat. I will grab both hind limbs together, rotate the cat onto his side. Once he's on his side, I will grab his tail and his hind limb that is on top out of the way. The assistant will pull the leg for venipuncture forward. To occlude the vein with the same hand, I will apply pressure with the side of my hand until the vein protrudes for venipuncture. Once the assistant is done drawing blood, I will keep pressure on the vein on the puncture site until the cat has stopped bleeding. Once the cat has stopped bleeding, I will release my restraints and while keeping my hands on the cat to maintain control of his body. Clip 5, feline cephalic venipuncture, sternal restraint. For this venipuncture, we will need the cat in sternal recumbency. Sternal meaning relating to the sternum, which is located ventrally. Recumbency meaning laying down. So essentially, we will need the cat laying on his stomach. The cephalic vein runs along the top of both forelimbs, so you can use either one. To get him into sternal recumbency, first I will move his body up and backwards into a sit, and then I will gently move his forelimbs forward into sternal recumbency. Then I will keep his body close to mine with my elbow, moving him to the front of the counter. With one hand, I will control the head. With my other hand, I will extend his forelimb from behind the elbow so he can't back up. With my thumb, I will apply enough pressure to occlude the vein and roll it all the way laterally so the vein protrudes for venipuncture. Once the assistant is done drawing blood, I will apply enough pressure with my thumb on the puncture site until the cat stops bleeding. Once the cat stops bleeding, I will release my restraints on the cat, but keep my hands on him to maintain control of his body.